Blog Talk Radio.
Welcome to Sex, Lies, and Consciousness with your luscious hostess, May Vu, broadcasting live every Monday at 12 noon Pacific Time.
Welcome, everybody. This is May. I am so excited to have this show with you today. I have in the studio my favorite intuitive healer of all time. His name is Gregory Joseph. Gregory and I've done some work with Gregory. He's been my healer recently, and I always refer to him by a couple of my dear girlfriends, and they say, you just have to talk to Gregory. So I called Gregory and I said, Gregory, I just have to talk to you. We got on Skype, and I looked at Gregory, and he looked at me, and I start to cry. And then I start to cry, and then for 30 minutes I just bawl and bawl and bawl. I don't know why I'm crying, but I just feel moved deep down to my core. And then I feel really healed. I don't even know what ailed me, but I feel so much better, and I feel so loved, and I feel like all is well in the world, and that I'm on the right track, and that Gregory's got me. And so I'm so happy to have him here today, and I invite you all to call in or chat me or something during the show so that you can get a piece of Gregory. Gregory, say hi, honey.
Hi, honey.
Welcome to the show. Gregory, tell them a little bit about you, some demographic data points so that people know who you are, and also what the heck is an intuitive healer? How would you describe that?
Sure. Well, I can start with that first. An intuitive healer is someone who taps into their own innate knowing, their own power, which would be tapping into collective consciousness. So then I know what's going on with you. We tap into the same consciousness. You actually feed me the information that I need to give to you. It's kind of that simple, okay?
Well,
I've been
hang
living in...
hang on a second.
Go ahead.
Let me just breathe that in for a second, because it may be simple, but it's strange and foreign language.
Ah.
Like, what? What do you mean by tap into the collective consciousness, and how does that mean you know me? Because I'm so different than the rest of the people out there, So I'm like, can you translate that one more time?
Sure. There is a sense that, well, let's put it this way. All of the cells in your body have all of the knowledge in the universe. Most people think that their bodies stop at their skin. And in fact, it's just a membrane between your inner body and your outer body. We're part of a large organism called this Earth, which is part of a large organism called this universe. When we consider things this way, the space between us is actually what holds us together. And this is what connects us. We're all one organism, just like your finger connects to your brain. You tell your finger what to do, and your heart's connected to your, the vessels and arteries in your legs. Everything is connected. And when we figure out how to connect into all of that, we tend to know more. Now, the good thing about this is you know some great things that I don't have in my consciousness right now. But by me tapping in, I can get, like, you're like my exterior hard drive. How's that for a better explanation?
Okay.
You're my exterior hard drive, because if I had all of that knowledge all at once, I would probably implode. But see, I can tap into that knowledge over there and then have it for my use when I need it now.
Interesting. Very interesting. So, another word, let me see if I get that right. This is so interesting for me, too, because, I freely call you my intuitive healer. I have no idea what that means, but deep down in my body, I knew what that means, and I just throw that name around to everyone else in the world. And I love that we're slowing it down enough to even explain what that is. So it's like you're saying, you have the capacity, like all of us do, actually, when we trust it and pay attention and develop it. But so anyway, since you have trusted it, you developed this capacity to tap into and see that we're all truly one, like we're part of a larger energetic body, and that there's information there for each one of us or for the collective, that because you go in there, you can bring it back out to us.
Yes, you said it actually brilliantly just a few seconds ago. Deep down in my body, I just knew. There was no logic, there's no thought, there's no way of putting it together other than I just know. If you go beyond thinking, you just know.
Wow, thank you. And so even though, like you are, like each one of us are ahead of the curve in different ways. So you're just ahead of us, showing us that this can be done, that this is possible, and that if we develop it and trust it, we can do it for each other.
Two key words, develop and trust, or you could say faith. And you, for example, know things that I have no clue. Yeah. You're automatically doing healing work, for example, for example, if I go in to do a healing with somebody, like an individual session, there might be a part of me that's very strong and healthy. So I allow that part to connect with you. I might be doing it just by holding your feet or simply holding my arms above your body. And then your body connects into that healthy rhythm, and you heal yourself.
Yeah.
Wow. You see how there's so...
It's not voodoo magic. Like, we almost could explain this tangibly. I'm so excited. I said almost because I still see a few, loose ends, but I don't want to waste our time, nitpicking on that. I see the board is lit up today with callers because I got the words out then. I said, today is a day you want to listen live, not just archive, and that you want to call in and you want to talk to Gregory because you want a piece of him. That's the advertisement. And they're here. So let's see, what else do we need to say to the audience before we just start taking calls? Do you feel anything, honey?
Well, I probably should say that it's just knowledge. I got this knowledge from my spiritual teacher, Alexander Everett. He led me to go to other places like India and to get more knowledge. And I'm just sharing that knowledge. And you said it really well again. It's like practice. We've been practicing thinking. I would like us to practice knowing, to go deep within inside, touch into that deep place inside you talked about a minute ago, and listen.
Yeah. Okay. So there's a couple of things. Thank you for saying that, because now it reminds me of what needs to be said. One is that that we will hear mostly from Gregory today, because I want to make as much space for him to do his work so that we all can benefit from him. And at the same time, like Gregory said, I do have some magical healing stuff that I see that Gregory doesn't see. So I may interrupt the conversation, or I may inject myself to do like co-healing with Gregory, so that we can, the way I tap into information is much more grounded. And the way, what I noticed with Gregory is he's way out there in spiritual land, and it will work with a lot of people, and sometimes it needs translating into everyday street language so that the rest of us folk can get it. So I'll be doing some translating. And then the other thing, too, is that I advertised the show today because Gregory can do healing on so many things. And because this show is Sex, Lies, and Consciousness, we wanted to really focusing on addictions, on our patterns in relationship, because we all have them. We have positive addictive patterns, and we have negative addictive patterns. And especially if you're in a relationship or you start out a relationship, you can just see, oh shit, I'm doing that again. Why does this keep happening? So if you ever find that you say, why does this keep happening? This is a great show for you. So hopefully we can tease some of that stuff out. Cool? All right. So let's unleash. Wait, hold on a second. So I'm going to just open the first line. So caller 519, you're on.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yep. Give us your name, darling, and then tell us what it is that you want Gregory to work on.
My name is Tim, and I have a pattern of meeting men, wonderful men, and I will be interested. I will start dating them. And when they are nice, open, loving, at the early stages of dating, I suddenly get disinterested. which often I've found attracts men more. I continue to be disinterested until the moment the relationship starts to get tough and they start to pull away, and then I want the relationship more. And I have a history of staying in these relationships well past the point that I should walk away, and just continue to try until it just becomes a really unhealthy, dysfunctional relationship.
Yes. What I'm hearing is you actually don't want to be in a relationship right now. What you wanted to do is to be out in the field. There's a part of us that have, like, for example, when we're in this, courtship time, and especially when there's sexual relations, it releases a lot of endorphins. It masks a lot of feelings that we have underneath. For example, when you're talking, I've got this sense of dread. While you're speaking, I hear this dread, like it's going to end, so I'm just going to enjoy this while it's here and it's going to end. Does that sound like familiar to you?
It's going to end, yes. I really want a relationship, and I don't particularly care for dating, and I would like to be in a relationship, but I do always have it in my mind that it's not lasting. They don't last, it ends, so why waste my time?
Sure. So if you have that right at the beginning, why would you waste your time? So you've already set the stage for it to fail. So it's not going to last. I get something like you're 12 years old, 13 years old, somebody or something left you. What was going on when you were 12 years old?
My parents split up and my dad left.
Yeah.
See, it doesn't last, does it? Is what you made up, yeah?
Yeah.
So let's do this. Now, see, something happens when we have a circumstance like this. We say, this is the event that happened. Now, I'm going to say some things here that are going to sound a little funny. But I'm very clear that we don't remember events in the past. What we remember is what we made up about them. Okay, is that fair enough?
Mm-hmm.
It's our perception, in other words. And at that age, you have kind of a limited perception. Okay? Then the caveat here is then we make up something about ourselves, i.e., it doesn't last, and I'm just like them, something like that. And then we begin to act out what we learned in that event. So we have it as a belief. These are supposedly beings that you trust, that you're endeared to, and that they are the model for your life, and they've just given you a model. So here's a key way out of this. You ready?
Okay.
Give you a key to let this go once and for all. And that is, have you ever forgiven what has happened or what you remember about what happened?
Have I forgiven the situation? No. I mean,
okay.
It wasn't my father's fault, but I haven't forgiven the situation. No.
Okay. So the key here, though, is to forgive the situation, to let it go. Okay? But the bigger key is to forgive yourself for what you made up about yourself regarding that event. And here's a way to do it. You just place your left hand over your heart and say, I forgive myself. Say it out loud.
I forgive myself.
And say, with your right hand over your left hand, dropping your phone for a minute there, and say, and I love myself.
And I love myself.
Yes. Now check into your body. What do you notice?
Sense of relief.
Ah. Isn't that nice?
It's incredible.
Yes, and practice that. I'll tell you, look into the mirror. This is for everyone. This is such an amazing thing. I came out of a deep depression when I did this, and it was very hard to do at first, but I don't think it will be for you. You look into your third eye, just right between your eyes, just above the bridge of your nose, and you put your left hand over your heart. You say, I forgive myself. And you do that for like 30 minutes. It's going to change your life. And then for another 30 minutes, you say, and I love myself. And you're going to reverse that pattern, your addiction, as it were, to the pain and the misery and the despair that you are calling, this is very strange, love, and you're going to let it go. And then you get to put in how you wish to qualify love, called compassion, longevity, loyalty, fidelity, whatever words work for you.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yes.
How do you feel now? How do you feel now?
It feels good. It feels exciting. Feels like I could.
Yeah, I could hear it in your voice. You hear that, May?
Hey, Kim.
Mm-hmm.
I also got, while you're at the loving and forgiving yourself, to love and forgive your mom for that divorce too.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, the whole situation. Forgiveness is like, I forgive the people, the places, the things, the sights, the sounds, the colors, the scents, the emotions, the air you're breathing, everything surrounding that event, everything, leave nothing out. It's a blanket forgiveness because how you're acting today is a result of all of those events, such that you have this end result called what you're thinking and doing right now. And all you have to do is change your thinking by allowing yourself that forgiveness. Mm-hmm. Surrender to your higher power within and let yourself become free of this.
Okay.
Thank you so much, Kim, for calling in.
Thank you.
Bless your heart.
You can hang on, or but we're going to move to the next person. But before we go, I want to just talk about a little bit about that. You know, that forgiveness that you touched on. It's at the core, isn't it, Gregory? I mean, it's like everything that we do, we run into this. It's somehow human beings just hold this against themselves so much.
Yeah, it's like we're practicing negative addiction. We have to practice it to get good at it, you know?
Yeah, that's so great. I've never thought of this as an addiction, but hating ourselves and punishing ourselves and withholding love from ourselves is a humongous addiction.
Yes. You know, it's very simple. Like, for example, what she was talking about then, make up something that perhaps isn't such a good image of ourselves. And then knowing, this is so convoluted, but listen carefully, knowing that that's a lie, then we punish ourselves for even making it up. And we do that by hanging on to that addiction.
Yeah. Amazing.
Now, one of the best ways to change that is to insert a positive addiction and start practicing that.
Awesome. So, here we go. Michelle is on the line. Go ahead, Michelle.
Hi, May.
Hi,
so
Dad.
delighted to be here. Hi, Gregory. Thank you for being
Hi,
you.
Michelle.
Let's see, where to begin. I guess in a nutshell, I seem to have this interesting pattern of both in intimate relationships and in really close friendships where people come into my life and we have these juicy, wonderful relationships, and then they literally just disappear overnight, like walk away and leave and never to be seen or heard from again. And this has happened several times, and coincided with apparently another pattern of attracting men that have seemingly, or maybe it's just my wounds attracting their wounds, you know, commitment issues that aren't really willing to dive deep. And I'm May can attest or speak to this one way or the other, I suppose. I've cleared out a lot of my own baggage, or at least I think I have, and just in the last week actually put myself back out there on a dating site and ready to date and find somebody to have a really great relationship with. So this timing of this is just so perfect. I'm so excited.
Commitment was the word that stuck out to me, and then you started talking about it. But let me ask you a question. It's like, what would you define? You said a really, really great relationship. What is that?
For me, I think in my heart of hearts, what I'm longing for is a deeply committed, loving partnership that ultimately lasts a lifetime. And my parents have been married for 53 years, and so I have this really great role model. And I've always imagined that I would have that kind of deep relationship. And 46
it sounds like
doesn't happen.
Yeah, it sounds like you have a love with an illusion, something that you have made up. Do you see?
Mm-hmm.
For example, your parents have that kind of relationship, and many people do, and many people don't.
Right.
Many people, like, for example, what I'm about, each born to a very specific vibration, which has an association, for example, with the colors of the rainbow. It's red, yellow, orange, green, blue, purple, and violet, you see. And each of these vibrations has with it its own particular way of being. And there's one in particular that you may be involved in, that you may be coming from. Let me ask you a couple of questions and let's see. Because, you see, for example, how you say people opposites attract?
Yep.
So a person, for example, is born on the red ray. It's a person who gives orders. That's one of their traits. A person that's born on the violet ray, for example, loves to receive orders. So people say, that's a wonderful union, because somebody likes to give orders, somebody likes to receive them. So it seems like a very good bond. You see, in most cases, it works quite well. All of the colors associate with each other in terms of relationship. And there's one color in particular, though, that's called orange. And an orange person has a very different point of view. They live in the now. They enjoy themselves wherever they are. I happen to know because I am one of those.
Mm-hmm.
I long for this long-term, monogamous, relationship with the 2.5 children, a dog, and, half a cat, all of those things, and the house and the porch and all of those. And, I've achieved those things, and they didn't work for me. I felt a caged animal. Does this resonate with you? How is it that you begin to feel when the big C word comes,
Well, I don't know, honestly, because
Okay, so hold it for a second. Let's adjust that. The word I don't know shuts the door, okay? So let's go to something a little bit less decisive here. So, for example, like, it's not clear to me yet.
It's not clear to me.
Because you absolutely do know, right? You absolutely do know.
Well,
Are you open to the possibility
as you were
do
describing the colors, my head was going, I bet I'm an orange. Orange is my favorite color.
Funny thing.
And I am very independent and strong-willed, and so that's probably.
Yes, there's another trait there too. Let me see if it fits. It's not and don't hear it as a negative. It's called intolerant. It means that you're very precise about things.
Precise but flexible. Is that?
Okay. If we could fit those together, okay. I'm not seeing it just yet, but we'll see. Okay. Being open to the possibility that and you're kind of chuckling about the fact that orange is your favorite color. When you say, I know, but it's not clear to me, we're bringing something up into your consciousness. It's impossible not to know because you're the creator of your entire life. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
Okay. So you must know, and the power in that is if you know how you got there, then if you truly want to get out, then you know the way back. But see, what I'm hearing in the beginning was you have this picture-perfect sort of union with your mother and father, and you're in love with that.
Okay.
Well, since I know Michelle a little bit, I have a little addition to this. This is very interesting. The word cage is really interesting because Michelle doesn't think she wants a cage. She's like, that doesn't make any sense to me. Why would I want a cage? I know better. Have all this personal growth stuff, in my belt. I know that. And the cage that her parents live in, to make that relationship work for 50 years, she actually hates that cage. Right? But at the same time, she craves that cage because that to her is the perfect marriage, the perfect relationship, the perfect achievement in her life. So I could see why you could be so confused here. But since I got to know you some, Michelle, that's what I'm seeing from out here.
Yeah, and I would agree with that. Yeah. I have this idyllic perspective of what a relationship, quote, is supposed to look like. And so I've spent my whole life trying to achieve that and have come nowhere close to that.
Oh, no. Actually, you created a really, not close, but a perfect relationship, and it almost killed you. Because that's like what you had in your previous marriage was like the ultimate cage.
Could it be that you're steering people into that, your idea of perfection, and it's sort of like a steel trap that happens with each and every one of your movements? Every word that you're saying is directed towards this perfect vision, rather than presencing yourself in the exact moment and enjoying what is there.
That resonates. I mean, I think I'm doing it unconsciously, but
yes. But now let's look at unconscious for just a second. I call that conscious ignored.
I like that. Ignored.
Okay, because you are hearing the truth, aren't you?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so then you must say, then comes up the idea, says, why don't I deserve to be happy?
Oh, yeah,
like
that's
if you're hearing the truth.
Question.
I'm sorry, go ahead. Mm-hmm.
Very popular in my mind. Why? Why not me?
Poor me, poor me.
So what did you do that's so horrible? I mean, I don't hear any police knocking on your door, and May, I guess, has known you for a while, so she knows that people aren't chasing you, and you're not going to go to prison by the society police and the liar police. All of the police, that we make up in our minds. And the only person that's suffering any consequences of this thought, being as it's your own thought, is, of course, you.
Mm-hmm.
So, Michelle, what are you taking away, honey?
Allowing myself to live more in the moment and not get caught up in the what's next, and how it's supposed to look.
I have a homework for you, Michelle.
Mm-hmm.
Will you take that perfect illusion of perfect love and write about it and all that stuff so that that is your script? This is the script that I put everything through, and I sift everything through, and if it doesn't fit this, I throw it out. It doesn't fit this, I throw it out. It doesn't fit this, I throw it out.
Yeah, I can do that.
Would that help? Would that help you see your pattern clearer?
Probably.
No, I mean
I don't think I've ever dissected it that way. Because Lord knows I've dissected in a lot of other ways, or tried to.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think May's not telling you to dissect it. Just to write it out. Let it flow. Just see what happens.
So that you can see your expectation clearer. It's like, this is my expectation of perfect love. This is how it should look like, and this is how it needs to play out for me. And when it doesn't, any part of this is just like, then to me, that's a no game. I'm not interested in that. I mean, you could start with your Plenty of Fish profile.
That makes sense. Because see, what's love? What actually nourishes you? What feels like when you're loving, and love make it for you. Love is an outward centrifugal force. It is what makes the world go round. It's an energy force. It happens to be called the male energy, not by gender, but just the male energy. Wisdom is the incoming energy. It's the knowledge. So typically in a marriage of long ago, because things have changed quite a bit, and I think wonderfully so, the woman, you see, would get the information with woman's intuition. That's the female energy, the wisdom. Give it to the male. The male goes out and does it. That's the outward centrifugal force called love. So love is a giving thing. It sounds like there's an expectancy here of a receiving thing. Like if I do this, they have to do that. If I do this, they have to do that. And there's this picture gets molded together. But I can, you know what? I can actually prove this to you because there was this girl in high school. I just loved her to pieces. And I'd walk by the halls and my bones would melt, you know. And I would heat up and I'd follow her. And my head would spin around and I'd bump into her by accident. She did not know I existed. And I thought, can't she feel this? And the answer is no. You see, love is an outward force. Think about what you would give to yourself as an outward expression and be that.
Thank you, Michelle.
Thank you. You gave me some chew on. Thank you, Gregory.
Yeah.
Terrific.
Bless your heart. Thank you.
Let's talk about that a little bit, Gregory. That whole illusion of perfect love, and I mean, I see this in so many single women, and coupling that with this teaching that, you know, like you have to write out what it is that you want, and then when we write out what it is that we want, we actually create a cage that we don't realize that we're creating. And then we sift everything through it. And then everything that comes through the door that looks slightly different, we just throw it out.
Yeah. It's a trap, right?
Well, for
it's
some
a trap.
reason,
It's
for some reason you and I can see it clearly as a trap right here, right now. But when we're in it or when we're out there dating, it doesn't look like a trap. It looks so logical. It's like, well, why would I want to settle for that guy? He doesn't fit me.
Yeah, logical. Wow. What a pitfall. Logic. You see, logic as opposed to your heart, as opposed to knowing.
Yeah.
I know for sure, and this is fun. It's like, you know, when you're in courtship, you know, and then something's getting off, and the woman decides it's over. She just knows. There isn't any back and forth about it. I'm never going to have sex with this person again. It's done. Yeah? Right. You know. We think about it. Men, you see, we try to logic through it. And then, well, we're going to, but we're not, but we're going to, but it was fun, you know, and it's, oh, forget about it. We don't, if we're not paying attention to that intuition and we're using logic, we can talk ourselves in and out of anything, and usually for reasons that have very, very little to do with truth.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. It's for saving face, for looking good, for being right, whatever, for winning, for losing, if that's your game.
For getting security,
just say it that way.
Yeah.
Because see, just like if we're addicted, see, I always wondered why, you know, battered people don't leave. You see, but if they were brought up with the expression of love as being hit or chastised, then that's the expression of love that they understand, and that's how they will communicate.
Yeah.
That's a tough one to swallow, yeah?
That really is. Blech.
But it's the way it is. Yeah. See, this kind of shows you that love is an outward centrifugal force. So if I come up and bang, I don't know if you could hear that, bang, and I smack you, that's love. That's an outward centrifugal force. But you say, wait a minute, that's not in my idea of perfect relationship. So how would I like to qualify love such that I receive the wisdom and they are loving me in a way that I recognize as nourishing to me?
Wow, hold on a second. I think you just gave me a piece here personally. So I grew up with my dad who always loved, oh my gosh, mix that up, who always loved me by hitting me. Really lots of, just slapping across the face, full on anger and everything, right? And I noticed the pattern in me is that when I am in a deep relationship with a partner, there will be a time where I flip into this most impatient phase, and then I stay there for a long time actually, and then my energy toward them whenever they say something is like, it's almost like me taking a rock and bashing them energetically for them to get it. And my reason is, I love you so much, I want you to get this you can't do that, friends don't let friends do that, lovers don't let, and then I'm beating them up with my energy. And I've been looking at that lately, and I go, why do I do that? And when you just said that, I'm like, holy shit, that's like the same thing that my dad said when he used to hit me. Believe me, this hurts me more than it hurt you.
And that was love for him. You see, that's how he learned. That
right.
was the deck of cards he was delivered.
Exactly.
And I say, you have a new deck of cards. You had to go out and find out, and you had to practice something different, right? It takes a lot of practice to change that deck, yeah?
Oh, my God. All right, everybody, I'm going to turn off all your phone line because now it's all about me. No, I'm just kidding. Okay.
Yeah, get over it, you guys.
Is there a magic pill that you can fix me and you can take that rock out of my hand because I keep bashing my poor boyfriend and then my daughter, and so I learned not to hit him with my hands and physically, but my energy is still in the same place. It's so disturbing and worrisome,
It's like people who are abused emotionally will tell you that's the worst. People who are abused physically will tell you that's the worst. It's just the one that you're experiencing.
Yeah.
You see? So, yeah, that slap was just no more different than my father used to call me, oh, you big bum, you big bum. And I took it literally. What a bums do, they never make it. They fail eventually, yeah? And I went through a period of time like that. And finally I realized if he called you bum, you were in his inner circle.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was his supreme expression of love.
Yeah. All right. I'm going to take a quick little break so that we can just take a deep breath. Don't make any noise because it's still transmit through. And then after that, we'll get Cindy, and then we'll get Rebecca on.
May is always looking for new angles on sex and lies to raise our consciousness. If you have ideas for a show, please contact her at may@mayvucoach.com. That's MAI@MAIVUcoach.com. Or go to her page on Facebook, Sex, Lies, and Consciousness. While there, please like her page and add your suggestions.
All right, we're back, and so far we have mostly all women callers. I would love to hear a male voice and a male question. So if you know of someone that you can rope them up and ask a question from the male perspective, I would love that. The number to call in is 646-200-0813. 646-200-0813. And just to remind the archive listener, this show is broadcast on Monday, April 30th of 2012. So if you're not listening on that date at that time, don't call in because there's no one manning the line. All right, Cindy, you're up.
Hello, everybody. Hi, Gregory. Thanks so much.
Hi, Cindy.
Oh, my goodness.
Good to be here. Thank you.
Thank you. I've gotten so much from everybody. Everything you've said to everyone has resonated in some way. I was born, I guess, into a family with a, I don't know if the narcissistic personality disorder in my father. So extreme, psychopath, narcissistic personality is like that's the hardest to deal with. And my mother couldn't deal with it, so she just she was passed out from drinking most of my childhood. So kind of no protection and every kind of abuse that there is, really. And so I grew up with that. And when I got out of that, I sort of dated here and there. It was a little bit like Michelle. Like I got out of that. I'll never do that again. And but I didn't expect anything to last or anything to be really good. So I just sort of dated around. And then I met a man who was very charming and very fun. And I didn't, that's the narcissist. That's the one side of the narcissist, is that charm and kindness and fun, and they reel you in with that. And then about the time they've got you, then you get all the abuse comes in. And I happened to have a child with him. And when I had the child, and so much of becoming a parent is then you get a chance to sort of relive your stuff and decide how you're going to do things, whether it be the same or different in different areas. And I made a very firm decision that my son and I were no longer going to deal with this. And so I left. Well,
let's stop for just a second, sir. Yeah, let's stop for a second, sure, before we get the backlash and all this, because what I'm hearing, first off, is that there is an addiction to being a victim. Okay, and understandably so in this case. And what happens is the key sentence was, oh, yeah, they reel you in.
Yes.
Let me ask you a question quickly. Is that really the truth? They reel you in? Is that really the truth?
Well, I fell in love with the all those aspects.
Okay, so is it really the truth that they reel you in?
No.
Of course not. Brilliant. Now, just by coming to that, check into your body. What's going on right now? I sense a real fluttering in the heart chakra in the chest area.
Yes, my heart is pounding right now.
Yes.
It's racing.
You're a very
it's going really
woman.
fast. Oh, thank you.
You're a very, very powerful woman, and let's see if we can get that power to work for you instead of against you. Against you meaning, I am going to hang on to this thing called the way I was treated. One thing that has happened as a result of that, you've become a very powerful woman. Very direct, very, very straightforward. You told a whole lifetime of story here in just a very short couple of minutes. That's not an easy thing to do. And you maintained a certain calm with it, though it was very halting inside, like your heart's wanting to burst out of this trap that you've set for yourself. And notice that I said you've set for yourself. The key statement being, oh, yeah, they reel you in. Very innocuous, almost said with a little bit of humor, which is where we hide a lot of pain. We can hide a lot of pain, you see, and that's what you're doing here. So there comes a point in time when you have to say, I see this is what's happened. Now I must redirect my attention to what it is that I want. So, for example, instead of saying, I am a mistreated, powerless, invisible, unsafe woman, we want to change that. So those are the kind of words that I'm forming around your conversation. How would you take the opposite of that and put it into a simple statement that speaks more to the truth of who you are? Starting with I am a, and we already know powerful. I've got that one. Take the opposite of what you just described. Like, people left, there's nobody there. So, you could have, for example, I'm a powerful, compassionate, loyal. You see, loyal means you kept your word, you're going to be there. Do you see?
Yes. Yes.
And
that's true.
Alter who you are. Your vibration will attract what it is that you are. Right now, you're sending out the vibration called, I need to be abused by a narcissistic person because that is my definition of love. I, right now, say these words. Your name again? Cindy?
Yes.
What was your name again? Yeah.
Cindy.
You say, I, Cindy. I, Cindy, am a powerful, compassionate. Go ahead.
I, Cindy, am a powerful.
Compassionate.
I can barely say it. Oh my gosh!
Yes.
And I know it's true,
yes.
and I can barely say it.
Sure, just say it. Take a nice deep breath and just let it fall out of your mouth, okay?
I am. Okay. Blah, 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 blah. I, Cindy, am a powerful, compassionate, loyal, loved.
How about loving? You remember, love, I just was explaining, I don't know if you heard, an outward expression, loving.
Loving.
Yes.
Yes.
Put it all together.
I, Cindy, am a powerful, compassionate, loyal, loving,
Take another breath. Breathe right into your heart. Breathe in love.
Thank you. I can barely breathe.
Yes, just breathe into your heart. Breathe right into your heart. Put your hand over your heart and be saying, I forgive myself while you're talking. Just let it go up under your breath. I forgive myself and I love myself. Because I am a powerful, compassionate, loyal, loving woman. I love that you said yes afterwards.
Can you please help me understand exactly, I mean, it helped a little bit when you explained to the first woman about forgiving herself. Can you can you please help clarify exactly what I'm forgiving myself for?
Okay, wait.
Sure.
Wait.
Go ahead.
That's the victim trap. So, Cindy, what would you like to forgive yourself for, honey?
Thank you, man.
All of those things that just came by, just blurt them out.
For not believing that I am those things.
Good. What else?
See, I still beat myself up for not feeling like I'm enough of those things.
Great. So forgiving myself for not being enough.
Yes.
Okay.
To improve this the situation, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Can you see your victim addiction, your victim cycle? You want me help pointing it out?
Yes, please.
Okay, so first, your victim cycle starts with you're very comfortable telling your victim story, right? How I grew up with this father, and then I met this man. You know that story really well.
Yes.
Right? So that's the first step of victim addiction is I know my victim story really well, and I'm very comfortable telling that story in my heart, and I can feel the sadness and the woundedness about all that, yeah? And then the second step was when Gregory stopped you, interrupted that pattern, you go to confusion. And you go to willingness to listen, because that's what a victim does, you know. Oh, yes, please tell me more. I want to learn. I want to learn her. Okay?
Okay.
Gregory, I muted you because it was really noisy on your end. But when I finish talking, I'll put you right back on. And then you confuse yourself some more. And then when he gave you the powerful words to speak, you had a really hard time speaking those powerful words because they're not from the victim language. Right? So that means you have to let go of your victim story and your victim coming from in order to really declare that I am a powerful woman. I'm a powerful woman, full on. What were some of the words?
Compassionate, loyal, and loving.
Yeah. So now you have to let go of the victim story and own this one. I'm powerful, compassionate, loyal, and loving. I have to tell those stories now.
Okay.
Are you willing to tell those kind of stories?
Yes.
Yeah. Can you feel how different you are right now?
Yes.
And see, your victim cycle was that when we asked you to do that, you're like, oh, but I can't. Oh, I can't even spit it out. Oh, now I'm confused. Oh, could you explain it to me again, what that whole self-love is? You know that self-love thing, babe. You know that. But that's how the victim cycle worked you. And when I busted that up and I name it, now you're like sitting strong and go, oh, here's my clarity. Here's it is. So, done. Can you feel the resolve in you right now?
Yes.
Tell us what you're feeling.
Well, my heart just calmed down.
I
feel really calm.
Right.
Yeah, I feel really calm, and that energy that I do this. I do the dance. I do this dance. Thank you. I can do the powerful, compassionate thing in some elements of my life, and then the other one is my history.
Yeah.
And I can go there very easily whenever I in any time.
Yeah.
I do a little thing that I should, feel like I should have done better. I go into this whole reeling story from my past. And it's just, I guess, from habit, I don't know. But I love this. You're right. I guess it just takes more practice with it. And I definitely want to do the forgiveness thing that he said with your hand over your heart and just do that more often.
Mm-hmm.
So let's do it now.
All the time.
So do it now.
Yeah.
Left hand over your heart. You lead.
Yep.
Right hand over your heart, over your left hand. Now what?
I forgive myself.
I forgive myself.
I forgive myself.
I
love myself.
And I love myself.
Mm-hmm. No.
And that's it, honey. There is no other magic bullet that you need. That's it. And you already have it. You've had it. And you just need to practice it.
That's it.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you
You're
so much.
so welcome. Oh, my gosh. You feel so, strong right now.
Yes. Thank you.
All right. Let's go to Rebecca before we run out of time. Rebecca, you're on, honey.
Hi, May. Hi, Gregory. Hi.
Hi.
So listening to all this really, really was helpful for me, and I'm piecing things together. My pattern relationship was linked with how I grew up. In my childhood, I grew up pretty much the only child in the family who was 2 generations ahead of my parents and their siblings. They're fighting, and my grandparents involved, and so I ended up isolating myself from all the fights by being alone, and I shut them out. And I have a father who got upset very easily, so I try not to say anything. And I think I carried that into my adult relationship. In that, when I'm interested, in someone, I'm actually quite assertive. But then after that, when we actually get into a relationship, I kind of shut them out. I kind of even feel dependent on them and resentful. And I just see the same thing, and I'm thinking that the exercise will help me too.
Yes, very good. Am I on?
Yep, you're on, honey.
Oh, okay. I hear one word stuck out for me there is abandon. And so in these relationships, you're creating abandonment before it ever starts. Does that make sense?
Right, in a
You
way
shut
that
them out. So the key sentence was shut them out.
Right.
That was what key to me. What is it that you actually want from a relationship?
I want real connection, to feel love.
What's that look like? Does he make you breakfast in the morning, or she, or whoever the person you would love is? Do you go swimming together? What does love look like? What is it?
It's comfortable. It's like being home, except, I guess I don't really quite have that experience when I was growing up, what home is like.
Mm-hmm.
It's very chaotic.
Well, how would you like it to be? Yeah, how would you like home to be like? Describe it.
To be forgiving, loving, and calm.
Oh, those are all great words, yes. What does it mean? You walk into the door. I mean, I worked with this one woman. She got into her house, and there was a dog jumped up on her. Her 3 boys were just wreaking havoc all over the place. And we sat in a room, and she came to a point where she said, I want a peaceful, harmonic, loving household. And when she got home that evening, before even communicating it, she used her idea, her intention, her true desire. The oldest boy took in the dog for a walk, and the kids were doing their homework when she got in the house. You see, your intention is key here. You're going to switch your intention from what was. You're going to stop having this relationship with the past and have one with the present right now by viewing your future, what you'd like it to be. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So how would you describe your home? Is there a nice, soft, warm couch somewhere that you'd sit on and that you share a place with somebody that you love? See, get real about it. Just like
the home is definitely very comfortable, and we will be communicating, unlike what I'm doing now. Communication.
What kind of communication?
Talking about things that interest us. Something that is, intellectually stimulating, but also creates a lot of mutual kind of warmth between us. And I feel like in my relationship, I just shut them out.
You just what?
I tend to shut them out.
You see, what I'm listening to is a great deal of expectancy. We talk about things that interest us. Well, wouldn't everybody? Things that are stimulating, that's wonderful too. Mutual wants. And you've also got the day-to-day things that you've got to deal with. How are you? How is your way of being when you're dealing with all of your life, not just what you would like to see as a dream life, not the Cinderella life, but the real life. There's Cinderella in there, not a problem. And I guess I'm not even going to use that because she was so, that was such a weird story. But it's like, what is it that you actually like that would just ring your bell, light your fire, set you, free when you got into that house every day? What would you like to see? What would it be? Would you have a hot tub in the middle of the evening you jump into, every time you got home? Truly, what would it be? It doesn't have to make any sense right now. Just let yourself go. What would make you happy?
Whoever I'm with or my pet will welcome me with genuine smile, and we just have that sense of feeling.
If you came in, saying, I want you to smile at me when I got home, the likelihood of me doing that wouldn't be too great, would it?
Mm-hmm.
How is it that you want to be? So you keep slipping over to how you want them to be.
What would I want?
It's so much easier to want them to be than to want us to be, Gregory. Come on now.
Ouch.
For all of us human, Rebecca, it's just like, dude, I don't want to fix myself. I want to fix him. him and her and they out there. That things would be so much better if only they would.
I want to feel connected to them. I want to be happy seeing them. I feel
here's what I hear. You're disconnected with yourself. You see this part about abandon. You've left yourself. When you connect with yourself, when you get centered, you can go to my website, gregjoseph.com, real simple, www.gregjoseph.com. There's a free gift there. It's a centering. And it will take you into the depths of your being. And you begin to bring all of your energy back into yourself. So you want to hold your energy in your own body. Focus your attention there. Let me give you something to do. Each time you look at somebody, for example, from now on, just like I was telling those people to do that, forgive yourself and love yourself, you look into your third eye, but you pay attention to your... When you look at other people from now on, look into their third eye, but you pay attention to your own body. You see what your body is telling you. Notice if it's twitching or churning inside. Notice if it's calm and peaceful. And that will give you the words that will just automatically flow from your mouth. You can say, well, I'm out of here, or this is for me. Yeah, I want more of that. Or you can just let it go. But you will know how you feel rather than trying to guess how someone else is feeling. It's difficult. Well, how does that sound?
So kind of gauge my own feeling towards them from observing them or observing their feelings towards me, kind of feel where...
I wouldn't say gauge them. You see how you've got yourself on some kind of scale here? Gauge according to what? Just know your own feelings. There's no right or wrong or good or bad about this. Your feelings are your feelings, and that's the way they are. Yeah?
Okay. And I'll feel differently when I look at different people.
Sure, that would make sense. So you're using your intuition to know what's in front of you, to discern the truth. You have a great barometer called your physical body. And your physical body registers what's going on. See, our thoughts, think of your words, they're just symbols for everything that's going on inside your body. And they just bubble up to your mouth and bam, out they come, you see.
Okay.
So what's going on inside there is very important then, yes?
Right.
I feel like you both need to take a big deep breath right now to let that in. You just got to some opening. Gregory, will you take us into a big deep breath again so that we can...
Sure. This is just take a nice deep breath. Breathe in, and just let it out with a nice sigh. And this time I'm going to count to 3. Breathe in, but hold the breath at the top of the breath and count like 10 heartbeats, okay?
Okay.
So 1, 2, 3. Breathe in a little more. Breathe in a little more. Hold it. 1, 2, 3. 7, 8, 9, 10. Let it out as slow as you can.
That was good. I haven't held it that long before. How are you feeling, Rebecca?
I feel good. I feel better.
There you go. What just soaked into your body?
Relieved.
Okay. And what's the one thought that just got clear for you so that you can take away and remember?
To find myself, to stop being disconnected. I'm going to go to the website and do the exercise. I really need to. And do the heart-to-heart. Heart-to-heart.
Yes.
Connect yourself instead of waiting for others to do it for you. Find yourself.
Remember these 2. Oh, go ahead, Maya.
Go ahead. Sorry, Gregory.
I said just use these 2 words. Focus in. You focus in. Keep your attention inside. That keeps your power inside. That's where you always want to keep it.
Thank you so much, Rebecca.
Thank you. Thank you so much, you too.
You're so welcome. We have to bring this to a close. We're past the hour. I knew that the time would fly by quickly and yummily. Let's see. Gregory, want to just tell them what's coming up so that they can find where they can find you and how they can
Sure.
work with you?
A couple of things. You can go to www.gregjoseph.com, my website. There's an events calendar there. We're getting it put in there now. But you will see an event here in July 7th and 8th that will be in Pleasanton. We're going to be doing a 2-day intensive of combining universal law with everyday life.
Wait. I have to highlight that. That will be with me in Pleasanton,
yes.
Guys who live nearby here in the Bay Area. And Greg and I are going to present this beautiful program that he's going to teach us how to do our own healings and also read it in other people. I cannot wait. It's a 2-day thing. July 8th, that's the weekend. So book it in your
7th and 8th, Saturday and Sunday, I think.
That's right, 7 and 8, July 7 and 8, and it's I think it's $300, and so do whatever you need to do to get there, to be here. It will be so powerful.
Brilliant. And you can contact May. You can give them a contact number for that. You'll be calling May to register for that event.
Yay!
And, okay, so May, I think you've got your number already up there. I'll give them a number for me if you desire any individual sessions, or I have life interruption programs called a 3-month program, Mentoring to Mastery. And you can call me at 843-252-0338. That's 843-252-0338. You'll reach my office, and I'll be able to get back to you.
Let me repeat that for you just in case your side echo. So it's 843, what's the next one?
252.
252.
0338.
0338. All righty. Thank you so much, Gregory, for being here today. It's just, I knew it would be wonderful, and it surpassed what I was hoping for. And
me too,
I want you to know that you're the first guest that I have that takes the expert seats that actually work with live callers, because usually I don't play that game. So I'm excited to see how that works out.
Well, great. And I really want to applaud the people that came onto the phone. That's very courageous. Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you so much to my guests for being vulnerable and really share your heart, to Gregory and to all of us to listen. And everything that you worked on is so universal. You know, we all can relate and can take every piece of those places to apply into our life. So really appreciate you doing the learning so that we can do our own learning through you. All right. So thank you so much for listening to my show, Sex, Lies, and Consciousness. I, May, work with individuals and couples who are in crisis with their sex lives and their connections. You can find or connect with me on my Facebook fan page, Sex, Lies, and Consciousness. And I actually started a website called sexliesandconsciousness.com. So it's in the building stage, but feel free to come up there and put a little note, ask for questions, or make a comment on those 2 blog posts that I already have up there. We're putting all the radio shows on there too. Next week we'll have a show on sex and spiral dynamics. If you guys don't know what spiral dynamics means, you're in for a treat. It is such an amazing way to explain what's happening in our humanity, to explain our evolutions, to explain our sex, our relationship to our sex in a very intellectual way. We will make it spicy and sexy, but I just love Sherry Beck will be with me, and we will talk about sex and spiral dynamics. Thank you for listening. Sex, Lies, and Consciousness. This is the voice of healthy sex. My ultimate goal is to help us get a hold of our sex, own it, play with it, have power over it, and let it fully serve us, and bring us joy and freedom. Talk to you next time. Namaste. Bye, everyone.